When I say there are things that we can learn from narcissism, people look at me like, well, what can we learn from these narcissists? Trust me, I've had my run-ins with them. I know how they operate. They're annoying and they are the biggest gaslighters. But through healing my confidence and my self-worth and my self-love, God took me to the narcissist to understand what traits that I was lacking within myself. And I believe that narcissism is truly just a distorted mirror of sacred self-belief, which I talk about in my last confidence video. So if you don't know what I mean by sacred self-belief, you can go over there and check it out. But under all that dysfunction, I believe that there are traits that we can learn from that, if rooted in love, they can be very beneficial to our confidence, our self-love, our self-worth. And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm not here to glorify narcissism in the way that narcissists treat people and the way that they behave, but I am here just to share the positive traits that we can learn about so that you can be more empowered and in your confidence. Simply because confidence distorted by the ego is what creates narcissists, and confidence rooted in your soul is what brings radiance to a room where your energy just magnetizes and speaks for itself before you can even say a word, right? So if all of that resonated with you from the intro, welcome to Intuitive Whispers. I am Kay Camus, your soul alignment guide for empowerment towards empowerment to empowerment, honey. I'm here to help you become empowered and become the sovereign being that you are. This is Intuitive Whispers. This is a place, a safe place, where the soul is able to meet, form, and become your inner compass. And I intend for each episode for you to become closer and closer with your inner self, your soul, the divine, so that you can be able to live your truth, speak your truth, and express your truth out into the world. So let's get started into today's episode. I have my notes here as usual to keep me on task, on time, and on topic. Okay, so besties, let's get into these traits. First, I'm going to give y'all the distorted narcissistic trait, and then I'm going to give y'all the empowered shadow trait. And then I'm going to give y'all a practice to start practicing embodying these traits and advocating for yourself and building your self-confidence. So first, we're going to start with self-importance. We all know that narcissists think they are the finest thing walking, that they are so important. Life revolves around them. They put their needs above others and they don't care. They don't care. So the empowered shadow version of this is self-prioritization. And that means you can meet your needs without feeling guilty, like the narcissist. But you do this in a loving way. You look at your needs as like, okay, my needs matter, without feeling like you, just because you're doing something for yourself, you can't do something for somebody else, because it's important to water your own cup so that you're full of love and all the things that replenishing you. So then you can go out and spread the love, spread the joy, spread the care into others, because if your water is running low, how can you fully be present and show up for others? So with this, I want you to practice taking up space and being able to express your needs and know that your needs matter and that you offer value into each space, and not feel like you're bragging or you're feeling like you're above anyone else. Okay, so that is the first trait. So the next trait we're going to get into is the need for admiration. That is the distorted narcissistic trait. Narcissists need you to constantly validate their ego all the time. They need it, because if they don't, then they start to not feel worthy, and then they want to put you down for not making them feel a certain way. This translates to the empowered shadow as you're comfortable with being seen. You're willing to take up space, because we all know narcissists are willing to take up space, hold space, make it about themselves, speak over people, tell you their opinions when you didn't even ask for the opinions. So with this one, I want you guys to practice receiving compliments for your skills, for your energy, for who you are. Because a lot of times when we struggle with our confidence, we'll resist compliments. So when someone say, hey, I like your hair today, and then you're like scanning their body trying to find something that you like about them, or you want to offer something in return for the compliment instead of like letting it land within your body, knowing that you're safe, knowing that it's okay to receive these compliments, to receive attention, to receive being seen, and just saying, thank you, I received that. And just being like, I hope you have a good day. You don't have to return a compliment with a compliment. I want you to practice being seen and being comfortable with being seen. Oh my goodness, this one is a good one. This one is a good one. Entitlement. Gosh, Lee. They are entitled little beings, these narcissists, okay? And by the way, if you are watching this as someone who struggles with confidence or as someone who has been diagnosed with narcissism, this is also a video that can help you look at your narcissistic shadow traits and alchemize them to honor them. Like, okay, this is a good thing, but I know that sometimes I have a tendency to put my needs before others without really caring about others or feeling entitled to others' energy, properties, or time without really being thoughtful. Like, maybe they have something to do. Let me ask them, can they help me? Or let me ask them about this before I just be like, you're doing this for me. So it can go both ways in this video, whoever's watching. But yeah, narcissists usually feel entitled and they know their worth and they have an inflated sense of self. Simply put, they have an inflated sense of self and they put their self as number one and everybody else can never be as great as them. And that's not true. That's not true. So I want you to work on your empowered shadow side as being deserving of all that you want, like joy, love, success, attention, because there's nothing wrong with attention. I hate that people like put attention under a bad like umbrella, like, oh, you want attention, you're just seeking validation. Like, sometimes, yes, we need validation because otherwise we're just over here like, maybe I'm making things up, maybe I'm crazy, maybe, you know, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Like, sometimes validation is good. There's nothing wrong with seeking validation and attention. So for the practice of this one, I would like for you to choose one thing that you truly desire right now, and then go ahead and start committing to what you are wanting to bring into your life. Like, what are you trying to manifest? Because the fact that you want it should let you know that you're deserving of it. And figure out why you want it. Like, not the surface level, like, I want money because I need to pay my bills. Because you can pay your bills. There's plenty of jobs you can get. There's plenty of ways to make money to pay your bills. Like, if you only want money to pay your bills, then you're not thinking big enough, loves. You're still in lack mentality. I hate to tell you, but you got to think bigger because there's plenty of opportunities to make money to pay bills. Like, what are you really wanting to create? What are you really wanting to use the money for? And then the next, we're going to talk about control. Wait, I'm lost. I'm using two of my notes and I'm like, okay, what? Wait, what? Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is control, which the empowered shadow side of their manipulation and control is self-leadership. Narcissists usually use control to manipulate people, or manipulations to control people to do what they want, to think how they want, to make you feel like you're doubting yourself and second guessing yourself, like, hey, maybe I am the problem, you know? So they have a good ability to take responsibility for how they want to move and how they want life to move. And that goes into manifestation. Like, how do you want your life to look? You are a co-creator. You are a sovereign being. You have the choice to make life great. That's simply what free will is. Choice. Choice to believe that you can, or choice to believe that you can't. And your belief is like your power core center in life. If you believe that you can't, you're assuming that you can't. So guess what? You will fall in line with the actions that prove to yourself like you can't. And you're constantly proving to yourself. And the universe is aiding you in that need to be right. There's nothing wrong with the need to be right, but make sure you're using that need to be right to benefit your life and the higher good. Because if you're over here like, I'm broke, then you're going to do broke people actions, and then you're going to prove yourself right, and the universe is going to prove yourself right along with you. It's like, oh, you want to continue to tell yourself that story? Okay, great. You're broke. All right. you keep taking those actions and I'm going to follow your lead. If you're saying I'm rich or I have opportunities and I'm always open to money and money is always flowing to me, and you start taking opportunities, you start putting yourself out there, the universe starts following your lead, and then you start having money just flow into you, and it's like nothing. So you have to take self-leadership and sovereignty and recognize your power and where you are in charge of your path, because you're in charge of your life. No one can make you do anything without you in agreement with it. And narcissists understand this a lot. And then the last one I want to talk about is masking vulnerability. They usually hide their true feelings because they want to project an image out into the world. They want to be seen as someone that is confident, that has it all together, that is well-rounded, and nothing is imperfect about them. And come on now, we know that's not true because everybody has things that they're working on. But when you are looking at the empowered version of masking vulnerability, you get emotional sovereignty. And this is when you know how to share your truth while staying centered within your inner truth. You're not afraid to be your true self for fear of judgment or rejection, because narcissists fear rejection and judgment, and they're really dealing with a lot of pain, and they mask it by having an inflated sacred self-belief instead of dealing with the shadows that they should be dealing with. But for this practice, you can ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? In every moment, in every experience, you want to check in. I was going to say, clock in, clock in with yourself and see how you are truly feeling, and then express yourself or remove yourself or do what you need to do from there. Thank you for being here with me. And I just want to remind you that these are all the pillars that you need to have divine confidence, having a healthy self-value, being comfortable, being seen, knowing what you deserve, leading yourself, and owning your emotions all help you really stand strong within your divine confidence. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this video helped you in some type of way. And those are today's whispers. And until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye for now.